Local government, no. Effect on the state, yes. Explanation. Matter in bolded italics is new. Matter between brackets, omitted material is material to be omitted. ANACT relating to education, establishing a program to award grants to support virtual pre-kindergarten programs, and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Legislative Council's Digest. One existing law establishes a program for the Department of Education to award 2 grants to school districts, sponsors of charter schools and nonprofit organizations to 3 support pre-kindergarten programs. NRS 387.652, Section 1 of this bill establishes for a similar program for the department to award grants to nonprofit organizations to 5 support virtual pre-kindergarten programs. Existing law prescribes the authorized 6 uses for a grant to support pre-kindergarten programs. NRS 387.654, Section 2 of 7. This bill prescribes similar uses for a grant to support virtual pre-kindergarten aid programs. Existing law requires the State Board of Education to adopt Regulations 9 to carry out the grant program to support pre-kindergarten programs. NRS 387.656, 10 Section 3 of this bill requires the State Board to include virtual pre-kindergarten 11 programs in those regulations. Existing law requires the department to submit a 12 biennial report concerning the effectiveness of pre-kindergarten programs supported 13 by the grants. NRS 387.658, Section 4 of this bill requires the department to 14 include virtual pre-kindergarten programs in that report. KB 122 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. To the people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1. Chapter 387 of NRS is hereby amended by adding thereto a new section to read as follows. 1. The department shall, to the extent money is available, award grants of money to nonprofit organizations to support virtual pre-kindergarten programs. Each virtual pre-kindergarten program supported by a grant awarded pursuant to this section must A. Serve children who are 4 years of age at the beginning of the school year and whose household has a household income which is not more than 200% of the federally designated level signifying poverty. B. Install a computer or internet service in the household of a pupil who participates in the program if a household does not have a computer or internet service. C. Utilize a comprehensive curriculum for pre-kindergarten that is aligned to any standards of content and performance established for pre-kindergarten pursuant to NRS 389.520. D. Participate in any evaluation of the program or the pupils who participate in the program that is prescribed by the regulations adopted pursuant to NRS 387.656. E. Effectively engage the parents or guardians of pupils and participate in any evaluation of such engagement that is required by the regulations adopted pursuant to NRS 387.656. F. Provide appropriate individualized accommodations and supports for pupils with disabilities. G. Provide the comprehensive services prescribed pursuant to NRS 387.656. And H. Meet the minimum standards of performance prescribed pursuant to NRS 387.656. 2. A nonprofit organization that wishes to receive a grant of money pursuant to this section must submit an application to the department. The application must include, without limitation, A detailed description of the manner in which the nonprofit organization proposes to 1. Ensure that the virtual pre-kindergarten program supported by the grant meets the requirements of subsection 1, and 2. Use the grant of money, and B. Any other information required by the department.
Up to $1 million.
3. A nonprofit organization that receives a grant of money pursuant to this section must match the amount of the grant up to $1 million.
There you go.
Asterisk KB 122 asterisk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. 3 sec. 2. NRS 387.654 is hereby amended to read as follows. 387.654.1. Any grant of money received by a school district, sponsor of a charter school or nonprofit organization pursuant to NRS 387.652, and any money received by the governing body of a charter school from a grant awarded to its sponsor, and any grant of money received by a nonprofit organization pursuant to Section 1 of this Act must be accounted for separately from all other money of the school district, sponsor, governing body or nonprofit organization and used only for the purposes prescribed by subsection 2, subsection 2 or 3, as applicable. 2. A grant of money awarded pursuant to NRS 387.652 must be used to A. Establish or expand a pre-kindergarten education program, B. Supplement money that the recipient of the grant would otherwise spend on pre-kindergarten programs, C. Pay the salaries of teachers and paraprofessionals or pay for other items directly related to the instruction of pupils enrolled in pre-kindergarten, or D. Retrofit a classroom or playground equipment so that the classroom or equipment is appropriate for pupils who are 4 years of age. 3. A grant of money awarded pursuant to Section 1 of this Act must be used to A. Establish or expand a virtual pre-kindergarten program, B. Supplement money that the recipient of the grant would otherwise spend on virtual pre-kindergarten programs, or C. Pay the salaries of teachers and paraprofessionals or pay for other items directly related to the instruction of pupils enrolled in a virtual pre-kindergarten
But a
program.
nonprofit can do all this.
4. A school district, sponsor of a charter school or nonprofit organization that receives a grant of money pursuant to NRS 387.652, and the governing body of a charter school that receives money from a grant awarded to its sponsor, and a nonprofit organization that receives a grant of money pursuant to Section 1 of this Act shall not use the money to A. Supplant money that the school district, sponsor, governing body or organization would otherwise spend on pre-kindergarten programs or virtual pre-kindergarten programs, or B. Except as otherwise provided in paragraph D of subsection 2, pay for major renovations to classrooms or facilities. Sec. 3. NRS 387.656 is hereby amended to read as follows. 387.656.1. The State Board shall adopt regulations prescribing asterisk KB 122 asterisk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. 4. Comprehensive services that a program supported by a grant made pursuant to NRS 387.652 or Section 1 of this Act must provide. B. Any evaluations in which a program supported by a grant made pursuant to NRS 387.652 or Section 1 of this Act must participate. C. Requirements concerning the engagement of parents and guardians of pupils who participate in a program supported by a grant made pursuant to NRS 387.652 or Section 1 of this Act. D. Indicators of performance for measuring the effectiveness of pre-kindergarten programs that receive grants pursuant to NRS 387.652 and virtual pre-kindergarten programs that receive grants pursuant to Section 1 of this Act, and minimum standards of performance that each program supported by a grant must meet. The state board shall review these regulations annually to determine whether it is necessary to update the indicators of performance or standards. 2. The state board may adopt any other regulations necessary to carry out the provisions of NRS 387.652 to 387.658 inclusive, and Section 1 of this Act. Sec. 4. NRS 387.658 is hereby amended to read as follows. 387.658. The department shall, not later than November 1st of each odd-numbered year, submit to the governor and the director of the Legislative Council Bureau for transmittal to the Legislative Committee on Education a report concerning the effectiveness of pre-kindergarten programs supported by grants awarded pursuant to NRS 387.652 and virtual pre-kindergarten programs supported by grants awarded pursuant to Section 1 of this Act during the immediately preceding biennium. The report must include, without limitation, 1. The number of grants awarded. 2. For each school district, sponsor of a charter school and nonprofit organization that received a grant during the immediately preceding biennium, A. The amount of the grant, B. The number of pupils who participated in a pre-kindergarten program or virtual pre-kindergarten program supported by the grant, and C. The average cost per pupil who participated in each pre-kindergarten program or virtual pre-kindergarten program supported by the grant. 3. A description of pre-kindergarten programs or virtual pre-kindergarten programs that were most effective, including, without limitation, the reasons for the effectiveness of those programs. Asterisk KB 122 asterisk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 5. 4. A description of any proposed revisions to the indicators of performance or minimum standards prescribed by the regulations adopted pursuant to NRS 387.656, and 5. Recommendations for any legislation to increase the effectiveness of the grants awarded pursuant to NRS 387.652 and Section 1 of this Act. Sec. 5. The provisions of subsection 1 of NRS 218D.380 do not apply to any provision of this Act which adds or revises a requirement to submit a report to the legislature. Sec. 6. 1. This section becomes effective upon passage and approval. 2. Sections 1 to 5, inclusive, of this Act become effective, A. Upon passage and approval for the purpose of adopting any regulations and performing any other preparatory administrative tasks that are necessary to carry out the provisions of this Act, and B. On July 1st, 2021, for all other purposes. H asterisk KB 122 asterisk.
Is that it? Well, let's just pause it. There's one more I want to put in here.
9 Committee on Education, on behalf of the Legislative Committee on Education, February 10th, 2021, underscore underscore underscore
That's
underscore
recent.
underscore underscore
That
underscore
was done
underscore
on the 10th.
underscore underscore underscore
have a public
underscore
meeting.
referred to Committee on Education summary,
It hasn't
revises
happened.
provisions relating to charter schools. BDR 34529, fiscal note, effect on local government, no. Effect on the state, no. Explanation. Matter in bolded italics is new. Matter between brackets, omitted material is material to be omitted. ANACT relating to education, revising requirements for teachers who provide instruction at a charter school, and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Legislative Council's Digest. 1. Under existing law, at least 70% of teachers who provide instruction at a charter school must demonstrate experience and qualifications through licensure or 3 subject matter expertise. Existing law provides that teachers who teach certain 4 subjects at a charter school must be licensed. Under existing law, a charter school 5 may employ a person to teach who does not have a license or subject matter 6 expertise if the person meets certain requirements. NRS 388A.518, Section 1 of 7. This bill instead requires that all teachers who provide instruction at a charter school 8 be licensed to teach in this state. 9 Sections 2-7 of this bill make conforming changes related to the requirement 10 that all teachers providing instruction at a charter school have a license. Section 811 of this bill provides that a teacher who is employed to teach at a charter school on 12 or before July 1st, 2021, and who does not have a license to teach may continue to 13 teach at the charter school without obtaining the license until July 1st, 2026.
Oh, wow.
Asterisk KB 109 asterisk.
They can keep on
To the
teaching
people
without
of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows.
They don't have to
1
be
Section 1. NRS 388A.518 is hereby amended to read as to follows. 388A.518 1. Except as otherwise provided in this 4 subsection, at least 70% of all teachers who provide 5 instruction at a charter school must demonstrate experience
That's
in
what it
6
used to be.
qualifications through licensure or subject matter expertise. If a 7 charter school operates a vocational school, the charter school shall, 8 to the extent practicable, ensure that at least 70% of the 9 teachers who provide instruction at the school demonstrate 10 experience and qualifications through licensure or subject matter 11 expertise, but in no event may less than 50% of the teachers 12 who provide instruction at the school demonstrate experience and 13 qualifications through licensure or subject matter expertise. 14.2. If a charter school specializes in 15a. Arts and humanities, physical education or health education. 16. A teacher must demonstrate experience and qualifications through 17 licensure or subject matter expertise to teach those courses of study. 18b. The construction industry or other building industry. 19 teachers who are employed full-time to teach courses of study. 20 relating to business and industry must. 21.1. Demonstrate experience and qualifications through 22 subject matter expertise, or 23.2. Hold a license issued by the Superintendent of Public 24 Instruction, which contains an endorsement to teach such courses. 25.3. A teacher who is employed by a charter school, regardless of 26, the date of hire, must demonstrate experience and qualifications 27 through licensure or subject matter expertise if the teacher teaches 28 one or more of the following subjects. 29a. English language arts. 30b. Mathematics. 31c. Science. 32d. A foreign or world language. 33e. Civics or government. 34f. Economics. 35g. Geography. 36h. History, or 37i. The arts. 38.4. Except as otherwise provided in NRS 388A.515. A Charter 39 school may employ a person who does not demonstrate experience 40 and qualifications through licensure or subject matter expertise to 41 teach a course of study for which a teacher is not required to 42 demonstrate such experience and qualifications if the person has. Asterisk KB 109 asterisk. 3.1a. A degree, a license or a certificate in the field for which the person is employed to teach at the charter school, and 3b. At least 2 years of experience in that field. 4.5. A teacher who is employed by a charter school to teach 5 special education or English as a second language must be licensed 6 to teach special education or English as a second language, as 7 applicable. 8.6. For purposes of this section, a teacher demonstrates 9 experience and qualifications through licensure or subject matter 10 expertise. 11a. If the teacher is employed by a charter school that has not 12 received, within the immediately preceding 2 consecutive school 13 years, one of the 3 highest ratings of performance pursuant to 14, the statewide system of accountability for public schools, or 15 equivalent ratings in another state, as determined by the department. 16 and the 17.1 overall performance of the teacher has been reported as 18 effective or highly effective in accordance with the regulations 19 adopted by the State Public Charter School Authority. And 22, teacher is licensed to teach pursuant to Chapter 391 of 21 NRS. 22B, if the teacher is employed by a charter school that has 23 received within the immediately preceding 2 consecutive school 24 years, one of the 3 highest ratings of performance pursuant to 25, the statewide system of accountability for public schools, or 26 equivalent ratings in another state, as determined by the department. 27 and V. 28. 1. Overall performance of the teacher has been reported as 29 effective or highly effective, in accordance with the Regulations 30 adopted by the State Public Charter School Authority, regardless of 31 whether the teacher is licensed to teach pursuant to Chapter 391 of 32 NRS. Or 33. 2. The teacher holds a bachelor's degree or a graduate 34 degree from an accredited college or university and has 35 demonstrated expertise in the subject area for which the teacher. 36 provides instruction on an assessment approved by the department. 37 in consultation with sponsors of charter schools described in this 38 paragraph, regardless of whether the teacher is licensed to teach. 39 pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS. 47. If a charter school that has received within the immediately 41 preceding 2 consecutive school years, one of the 3 highest 42 ratings of performance pursuant to the statewide system of 43 accountability for public schools, or equivalent ratings in another 44 state, as determined by the department, intends to employ persons. Asterisk KB 109 asterisk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44.
Or 2012, but they want to go
For to teach who
all the way
are
to
not licensed,
2026.
the charter school
Bullshit.
shall within 3 years, A, obtain approval for and offer an alternative route to licensure pursuant to NRS 391.019, or B, enter into an agreement with a qualified provider of
going
an
to
alternative
record it
route to
and
licensure
upload
to
it.
provide the
See, there are
required
people that can
education
think here.
and training
They
to
don't have to have
unlicensed
their children
teachers
in
who are
these programs
employed
that are
by
not
the
making
school
them
to teach
successful.
such a course of study. Be licensed to teach pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS. Sec. 2. NRS 388A.5334 is hereby amended to read as follows. 388A.5334 1. The department shall adopt regulations that establish a procedure for the notification, tracking and monitoring of the status of criminal cases involving teachers and administrators who are employed by a charter school but are not licensed pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS. The procedure must include, without limitation, A, the method by which the administrative head of a charter school must notify the department in a timely manner of the arrest of such an employee. 1. The act for which the employee is arrested, I, may be a ground for the suspension or revocation of a person's license pursuant to MRS 391.330, and 2. Is not excluded by the department from the notification requirements of this section, and 2. The charter school has knowledge of the arrest. B. The method by which the administrative head of a charter school must notify the department in a timely manner of 1. Each action, if any, taken against the employee by the charter school after the arrest, and 2. The conviction of the employee, if the employee is convicted of the act for which he or she was arrested. C. The steps the department must follow in response to the receipt of notice pursuant to this section, including, without limitation, the preparation of a separate file on the employee for the documentation and monitoring of the status of the case. 2. Each file that is maintained on an employee pursuant to subsection 1 must include, without limitation, A. The date on which the employee was arrested and the date on which the department received notice of the arrest from the charter school. B. The reason why the employee was arrested. C. The steps taken by the department in response to all notices received by the department from a charter school pursuant to subsection 1, and asterisk KB 109 asterisk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. 5D. The final resolution of the case and the date of resolution. 3. If the department maintains a file on an employee
Don't worry, if
pursuant
it
to
was a
this
black
section
person, they
and
would
the
never be
employee
working
is
here.
not convicted of an
Even
offense,
white people
the
make their
file and any
combinations
related
work.
documents must not be made a part of that employee's permanent employment record. 4. The department may prescribe a fee to be assessed against a charter school for the costs incurred by the department for tracking and monitoring the status of a criminal case in accordance with the requirements prescribed pursuant to this section. Any fee prescribed pursuant to this section must be calculated to produce the revenue estimated to cover the costs related to tracking and monitoring the status of a criminal case, but the amount of the fee for tracking and monitoring the status of a criminal case must not exceed the actual cost to the Department of Tracking and Monitoring the Status of the Criminal Case. Sec. 3. NRS 388A.5336 is hereby amended to read as follows. 388A.5336, the governing body of each charter school shall adopt a policy which requires a person who is employed by the charter school as a teacher or an administrator but who is not licensed pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS to report to the charter school if the employee is arrested for or convicted of a crime. The policy must include, without limitation, an identification of 1. The crimes for which an arrest or conviction must be reported. 2. The person to whom the report must be made, and 3. The time period after the arrest or conviction in which the report must be made. Sec. 4. NRS 388A.5340 is hereby amended to read as follows. 388A.5340 Immunity from civil or criminal liability extends to every person who, pursuant to NRS 388A.5332 to 388A.5342, inclusive, in good faith. 1. Participates in the making of a report. 2. Causes or conducts an investigation of a person who is employed by the charter school as a teacher or an administrator who is not licensed pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS and who is arrested, or 3. Submits information to the department concerning a person who is employed by the charter school as a teacher or an administrator who is not licensed pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS and who is arrested. Sec. 5. NRS 388A.5342 is hereby amended to read as follows. 388A.5342, the governing body of a charter school shall terminate the employment of any teacher or administrator who is employed by the charter school but is not licensed pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS upon his or her conviction of a *KB 109 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 6. 1. Felony or crime involving moral turpitude, or 2. Sex offense pursuant to NRS 200.366, 200.368, 201.190, 201.220, 201.230, 201.540, or 201.560. Sec. 6. NRS 391.170 is hereby amended to read as follows. 391.1701, except as otherwise provided in subsection 2A, a teacher or other employee for whom a license is required is not entitled to receive any portion of public money for schools as compensation for services rendered unless he or she, A1, is legally employed by the Board of Trustees of the school district or the governing body of the charter school in which he or she is teaching or performing other educational functions. B2. Has a license authorizing him or her to teach or perform other educational functions at the level and, except as otherwise provided in NRS 391.125, in the field for which he or she is employed, issued in accordance with law and in full force at the time the services are rendered. 2. The provisions of subsection 1 do not prohibit the payment of public money to teachers or other employees who are employed by a charter school who are not required to demonstrate experience and qualifications through licensure or subject matter expertise pursuant to the provisions of NRS 3888.518. Sec. 7. NRS 391.230 is hereby amended to read as follows. 391.2301, except as otherwise provided in subsection 3, upon the opening of any public school in this state, every teacher and other licensed employee employed for that school shall file with the superintendent of the county school district a Nevada license entitling the holder to teach or perform other educational functions in the school in which he or she will be employed, and any other report that the superintendent of public instruction requires. 2. The superintendent of the county school district shall acknowledge the receipt of each license and shall make a proper record thereof in the superintendent's office. The license must remain on file and be safely kept in the office of the superintendent of the county school district. 3. This section does not apply to unlicensed teachers who are employed by a charter school. Sec. 8. Notwithstanding the amendatory provisions of this act, a teacher who is employed by a charter school on or before July 1st, 2021, to provide instruction at the charter school but not licensed to teach, and who, because of that employment, is required by NRS 388.518, as amended by Section 1 of this Act, to be licensed as a teacher pursuant to Chapter 391 of NRS, may continue to provide instruction at the charter school without obtaining a license to teach until July 1st, 2026. Asterisk KB 109 asterisk. 7/1 This act becomes effective on July 1st, 2021. H asterisk KB 109 asterisk.
Did you hear that? Everything's gonna become effective in July. So they working on it. Amen. Working on it, but my kids wouldn't be in it. That's for damn sure. Let's stop recording.